Hey guys, what's going on? TayJay Productions here. Today I'm coming to you from Bloomington, Indiana to check out a video store called Vulture Video. This store is kind of like vintage 80s, 90s era. It's an old video rental store and I'm really excited to show you this. It's got everything from VHSs to DVD rentals in here and just movies galore. So let's go in there and check it out. This place is super cool. Looks like we're playing Saw right now. I love that movie.
Yeah, Saw 2.
Saw 2. The infamous needle pit scene. Check this place out. Got a lot of vintage stuff in here.
You can call me Rose,
Okay.
like the flower. I have been volunteering here for 2 years. We're a non-profit video rental place, so the store exists to provide a place for people to rent movies. It's $3 per disc for 3 nights.
I remember that movie.
I got involved with Vulture Video when I moved here, gosh, so 4 years now, but I've only been volunteering for 2 or 3. I started renting movies since I'm a graduate student and I studied media history. I've always loved cinema, and this place is unique now. Pretty much every other video rental place in America is closed. We're one of the few that survived COVID.
On this side?
On this side here.
This side. 4th shelf. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Perfect.
Which the proprietor, Dave, is especially pleased to have Evil Dead on VHS.
Awesome.
That's how he insists Evil Dead is meant to be watched.
One of the best movies ever. Spider-Man 2. Take a look back here.
I love it here. So many interesting things. So many interesting films come through that you can't get anywhere else. So I'm really lucky to work here, to volunteer here.
Some foreign films. It's got a nice vibe in here too with the checker floors. All sorts of very niche areas.
I think Vulture really attracts strange people, since we're kind of a cult movie refuge. A lot of things that you find here you can't find elsewhere, and so that attracts like very particular clientele. There's also a lot of folks who just kind of come in and I think absorb the energy, the vibes of the place. There was this one regular, Russell, good old Russell, but he would come in and he would tell me the same stories again and again, and he would be here sometimes for like almost an hour. But he's the most memorable customer that I've had. Vulture Video started as Plan 9 Film Emporium back in the late 80s, so we've been around for a few decades now, but it really exists just to, I think, the proprietor's film collection. You know, he wants to have a space to store it, and for people to be able to access it, and so all of the funds raised through the rentals, they go to acquiring more movies and to making sure this place still exists.
Awesome. Could you show me around to a few of your favorite areas and kind of explain it?
I would love to do that. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. All of our DVD and film cases are up on the shelves. The kind of more general stuff is back there behind you, plus our animation section and some queer films and film noir. We have a lot of adult animation, but our directors section, I think we're considering taking away some of these directors and replacing them with more interesting or less obvious directors. Sam Raimi is a favorite, but I also really like Terry Gilliam. Tim Burton's alright, but I like Terry Gilliam. But really my favorite is behind the main section. So we have foreign films, both European and a huge Asian cinema collection. And these are sometimes organized by director, sometimes just organized by country. But some of the stuff you really can't find anywhere else, like Possession, which has Tim Allen in it. No, that's not true. I don't remember, what's his name? I don't remember. But the guy who's the protagonist in Jurassic Park, he's in this Polish film, but you can't find this film anywhere. Hey man. But we have it here. We have some of the Asia Extreme stuff. So in horror films, there's extreme Asian horror and French extreme. We have both, but the French extreme is easier to find on streaming services. Films like Martyrs and Raw are part of the French extreme, but the Japanese extreme stuff we have, like Tetsuo, the Iron Man, Rented. But this one is one of the classics of Asian Extreme. Our Criterion collection, since there's a lot of film bros of all genders who love the Criterion collection stuff, we have a pretty robust selection from the Criterion collection. But I do spend most of my time in the horror section, which I think is our most extensive genre collection. We have directors over here, some of the greats. John Carpenter, classic. Romero is a favorite. Everyone knows Night of the Living Dead. Season of the Witch is underrated. I think it's one of his best films. This is about a middle-aged housewife who becomes, I'm not going to say seduced by a cult and magic, but she becomes lured by its power and potential. But whether or not the magic exists is kind of ambiguous, and it also has a really great soundtrack. And it's not talked about too much when Romero comes up, because everybody's really focused on his zombie films, which they should be, but this one is really underrated. Consider it a classic. They have various subgenres, ghosts, inadvisable actions, non-satanic malevolent children, etc. A general kind of horror, things that don't fit into any of the categories. Gialli, if you're a fan. People go nuts for Gialli, and if you're unfamiliar with this genre, it's Italian slasher, but it's a very particular style that's very, extreme theatrics, very bright colors and extreme contrasts, and oftentimes the Gialli were made for very cheap, so they oftentimes got actors from all over Europe, and they dubbed everyone in English because oftentimes none of the actors spoke the same language. So you had actors from Poland and Denmark and Italy all in Italy working, but they dubbed over everything in English. But then our general cult section, which I think most people will be familiar with John Waters. If you're talking about cult directors, he's probably one of the biggest, probably the one who made the most money besides the late Roger Corman. But Herschel Gordon Lewis is my favorite. Godfather of gore. He made really excellent and I think hilarious gore films. He's like a really strange sense of humor that the more you watch his films, the more comfortable you get with his sense of humor, and you realize that he's just having fun with it, man. But yeah, that's the basics of the store.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for showing me all that.
Yeah, sure.
So what can the community do to keep this place alive and thriving?
Just coming in and renting films. Sometimes a lot of people, they don't know that we exist because we don't have an online presence. Somewhat by design, I think, and I don't think that's likely to change. But if people were to know that we exist and to know the kind of catalog that we have, they might be willing to come in and give us a shot. So just come on by. That's what I like to see.
So guys, there you have it. Vulture Video in Bloomington, Indiana. Great interview today. Great look at the store and what makes it unique. So come on out here, give them your business, and thank you guys for joining me on the video today. I hope you guys liked it. See you in the next one.